Welcome, humans, to Lesson 1.6, Equivalent Ratios. Prepare yourselves by opening up your mathematical book device to page 59. My assistant will teach you everything you need to know, so please pay attention. Farewell, humans. Live long and prosper.
Hi everybody, welcome to lesson 1.6. This is called equivalent ratios. Equivalent ratios. Okay, so let's just review something that I know you guys are already experts at. So you know that there's all the different ways to write 1/2, right? You can write 1/2, you can write 3/6, you can write 5/10, you can write 20/40, etc., right? These are all equal to each other, and you guys know how to do that. It's really easy. And the way, you may not know that you know this, but the way that you can tell is if I can say 1 times 3 equals 3 and 2 times 3 equals 6, then I know that they are equal to each other, because 3/3 is like having a big number 1, right? Same with this. If I say 5 times 4 is 20 and 10 times 4 is 40, I know that 5/10 and 20/40 are equivalent. They're equal to each other because 4/4 is 1, and you're really doing this fraction times 1 equals this fraction. Got it? Cool. So now let's look at what we have. Are these ratios equivalent? Hint, if you can multiply the first by one number to get the other, to get the second. Here we have a fraction, 3/7. And here we have another fraction, 12/28. Are these equal to each other? What do you think? Ready, go. Okay, so they are equal because 3 times 4 equals 12 and 7 times 4 equals 28. So because they're both by the same number, they are equal. So let's look at that same thing in a word problem. So we have, now it's the same sort of thing, but now they just do it in words. 3 hours worked for $12 and 9 hours worked for $36. So we'll turn this 3 hours worked for $12 into a fraction or a ratio. It's 3/12, right? We have hours over money. So 3 hours worked over $12 for $12, and then 9 hours worked for $36 is 9/36. So are these equal to each other? 3 times what is 9? 12 times what is 36? Well, I know my times table, so I know 3 times 3 is 9, and I know that 12 times 3 is 36, and because they are both, there's a times 3 for both of them, I know that they are equal. All right, let's take a look at another one. Are these ratios equivalent? Notice equivalent and equal, it's like the same thing. Can you multiply the first by one number to get the second? So here you have 12/16, and the second one is 4/8. So this will be a dividing one, right? So we have 12 divided by what? Equals 4. 12 divided by 3 equals 4. 16 divided by 3 is not 8. 16 divided by 2 is 8. So if you look at this, these numbers are different. Divided by 3 and divided by 2, they are different, and therefore they are not equal, not equivalent. Let's look at one more like this. Okay, an iPhone screen is 3 by 5 inches. Let's draw this a little bit here. So if I'm going to draw in here an iPhone, here's my iPhone screen. Sorry, it's a bad drawing. So that's 3 inches by 5 inches. Let's make believe that's an iPhone screen. Then you have a poster, a really big poster. It's huge, and it's going to be 60 inches by 100. I'll put that 100, 60 by 100. Do they have the same ratio? So the way we figure that out is 3/5 is our first fraction. and 60 over 100 is another fraction. So can I do 3 times something equals 60? Well, yeah, you can. I know that, well, 3 times 2 is 6, so that means 3 times 20 is 60. And is 5 times 20 100? Well, it is. So 3 times 20 is 60, 5 times 20 is 100, so that means that these are equal. They do have, these are equal ratios. Got it? Great. Okay, let's look at another example. And this one is a little bit trickier, I think, but not really. Okay, so here, sometimes when you're comparing the ratios, you can't multiply or divide exactly across, right? Like 3 times nothing is 7, 12 times nothing is 28. So in that case, another way to do it is to find the unit rate, which really means just reduce the fraction so there's a 1 on the bottom. So we have the first one here, which is $12 for 3 books. So we put $12 for 3 books. Then you have 28 for 7 books, 28 for 7 books. By the way, this problem is directly from your homework, so pay attention and you'll get this problem right on your homework. So let's just reduce it. Instead of trying to compare 12 and 28, we're going to just reduce this fraction as much as possible. Remember, reduce, you're going to divide by the biggest number that fits into both. So the biggest number that fits into both 3 and 12 is 3. So divide by 3, divide by 3, and we get, that's going to be a 1, and 12 divided by 3 is 4. So this gives us 4 over 1. That's the unit rate for this. Let's see if we can find the unit rate for this one too. The biggest number that fits into 28 and 7, in this case, is 7, right? So 7 divided by 7 is 1. 28 divided by 7 is 4. And you have 4 over 1. And look, 4 over 1, 4 over 1. So yes, these are equal. Got it? Cool. Okay, let's look at one more that works in a sort of similar way. And just so you know, there's more than one way that we can do this. And we're going to do this one by reducing fractions. And I'll show you actually 2 different ways to do it. So here we have 8 socks for $12 or 3 socks for $6. What are they the same? So let's just reduce this fraction. We could do, let's see, what goes into both 8 and 12? Oh, I know, 4. So I'm going to divide by 4 and divide by 4. 8 divided by 4 is 2, and 12 divided by 4 is 3. So this fraction is the same as 2/3. And here we have 3 over 6. Let's divide by 3 and divide by 3. And this was just 1/2. So is 2/3 the same as 1/2? No, it's not. So these 2 fractions are not equal. Now let's do the same problem in another way and in a prettier color. Okay, so now we can also say that, well, 12 divided by 2 equals 6, right? 12 divided by 2 equals 6. 8 divided by 2 divided by 2, is that equal 3? No, it does not equal 3. So that's another way to see that these are not equal. But sometimes you'll get a fraction that doesn't, like, you can't do 12 to something else. So being able to reduce the fractions is another way to do it, okay? Thank you. Okay, so now here we are on page 59. And look who's joining me right here. It's my dog, Rika. Whoop, there you go. That's my dog, Rika. See what a good girl she is? She's helping me with math. Okay, so let's get back to math now. Upside down and look at the book. All right, so we should be on page 59 in your book. If you hear a lot of heavy breathing, it's my dog. So let's look at this example here on page 59. It says Andrea spent $2 to make 10 prints, $2, 10 prints from a photo booth, and later she spent $6 to make 30 prints. So express the relationship between the number of prints she made and the total cost for the situation in fraction form. So here they have prints, right? So first she did 10 prints for $2, 10 prints for $2, and then she did 30 prints, so I put 30 for $6. Got it? Okay, so there's two ways to solve this problem, and we're going to solve this in both ways. They want to know, are these two rates equivalent? So one way is you're going to compare the relationship between the numerators and the denominators. So here we say that 10 times 3 equals 30, and 2 times 3 equals 6. Because they're both 3s, they're both the same number, then yes, they are equivalent. And then for number 3, it says, what's the unit rate for the 10 prints? Unit rate, remember, you want the 1 to be on the bottom. So we can just reduce or divide. So 10 divided by 2 is 5. So the unit rate is going to be 5 over 1, right? And then for this one, the unit rate for the 30 prints is going to be 30 divided by 6, which is 5 over 1, because 30 divided by 6 is 5. So are the rates in exercises 1 equivalent? Yes. And they're equivalent because they have the same unit rate. So same unit rate. So I just want to make sure you guys know that we solved this problem in two different ways. One way was comparing the numerators and the denominators, right? You can multiply by 3. The second way was comparing the unit rate, meaning dividing that, 10 divided by 2 and 30 divided by 6, they're both 5. Got it? You may need to use both methods in this. In fact, we're going to try one of those right now. So let's go to the next page, which is page 60. And let's try some of these. I think you kind of know how this works, but we'll just see and make sure we know it. So here you have to compare 20 miles in 5 hours, 20 miles in 5 hours, to 45 miles in 9 hours, 45 and 9. And what they do here is they find the unit rate for each one, right? So 20 divided by 5, and if you divide both sides by 5, you get 4 over 1, 4 miles in 1 hour. This is the unit rate. Because there's a 1 on the bottom, that means it's a unit rate. Here we have 45 over 9, and we divide both sides by 9, and you get 5 over 1. So that's how you know. And you do this because you can't do like 20 times something is 45, 5 times something is 9. That doesn't work. So that's why we find the unit rates. Now the unit rates here, one is 4 over 1 and one is 5 over 1. So these are not equal. Got it? Let's try this one. They're also doing the unit rate for this. So here you have 3 t-shirts for $21. So $21, 3 shirts. And then you have 5 shirts for $35. And so we're going to find unit rates, meaning the 1 is on the bottom. So I'm going to do 21 divided by 3 is 7 over 1, or divide both sides by 3. That becomes 7 over 1. And 35 divided by 5, divide both sides by 5. I'm really just reducing. And that is also 7 over 1. So because 7 over 1 is equal to 7 over 1, this is equal. Got it? So why don't we try letter A right now. 36 t-shirts in 3 boxes, or 60 t-shirts in 6 boxes. And I'll kind of help you out with that a little bit. You're going to write the fractions out first, right? 36 t-shirts in 3 boxes, or 60 t-shirts in 6 boxes. Are they equal? Ready, go. All right, so what you should have had is that, well, let's see. We can do 3, let's do unit rates, right? So 36 divided by 3, right? 3 goes into 3 once, and 3 goes into 36 12 times. So that one is equal to 12 over 1. 60 over 6, well, if you divide both sides by 6, you get a 1 on the bottom. 6 divided by 6 is 1, and 60 divided by 6 is 10. So you have 12 over 1 and 10 over 1. So that means that these are not equal. Not equal. Got it? We did it by doing the unit rate. For letter B, well, you try letter B on your own. Ready, go. All right, so what you should have done is first turn these into fractions. So you have 42 flowers in 7 vases, 42 over 7, and you have 54 flowers in 9 vases, 54 over 9. So let's turn these into unit rates. So for here, we're going to divide both sides by 7, because that's the bottom number. 42 divided by 7 is 6, so that's going to be 6 over 1. That's the unit rate for that one. And now we're going to do this one. 54 divided by 9, well, 9 goes into 54 6 times, and 9 goes into 9 1 time, so that's, oh look, the same unit rate. So then, yes, they are equal. E-Q-U-A-L. And you should have some math to show me. You can't just write equal or not equal. Okay, so now please go to page 62. Page 62. And we're going to try number 1. You can do this in your book, and that might make it easier, and then we'll do it on the Ed puzzle. Are these rates equivalent? Explain your reasoning. So 24 in 3 weeks or 52 in 7 weeks. Ready, go. Okay, so what you should have written first, of course, is 24 in 3 weeks, that fraction, and 52 in 7 weeks, that fraction. So for these, we're going to find the unit. Okay, so in order for these to be equal, if we find unit rates, it should be the same unit rate. So 24 divided by 3, we divide both sides by 8, really, right? Divide both sides by 3. So 3 divided by 3 is 1. 24 divided by 3 is 8. So that has a unit rate of 8 over 1. Now, if I do the same thing here, is it going to be the same? If I divide both sides by 7, 7 divided by 7 is 1. But 52 divided by 7, that's not 8, right? 7 times 8 is 56. So, these are not equal. All right, let's try number 2. Ready, go. All right, so you should have 270 over 3 and 450 over 5, right? And so let's, we can't compare them by comparing the numerators and the denominators, right? Because 3 times nothing is 5. So we're going to find the unit rate. So we're going to divide here 270 divided by 3. Or really, we're dividing both sides by 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 270 divided by 3, you can write this out, is 90. So that's 90 over 1. Let's try this one. 5 divided, we're going to divide both sides by 5. So 5 divided by 5 is 1. 450 divided by 5 is, well, 5 goes into 45 9 times. 5 goes into 0 0 times. This is also 90 over 1. 90 over 1 is equal to 90 over 1. Isn't that great? Cool. Hey, look, Micah's in this one. Cool. Number 3, Micah can do 75 push-ups in 3 minutes. Eduardo can do 130 push-ups in 5 minutes. Are these rates equivalent? Ready, go. All right. So, of course, in here you're going to do 75 over 3, and Eduardo is going to do 130 over 5. So let's find equivalent, we're going to find unit rates to see if they're equivalent. 75 divided by 3, I know this because when I have like 3 quarters, it's 75 cents. So I know that divide both sides by 3, that'll be a 1. And 75 divided by 3 is 25. So this is the same as 25 over 1. And I'm going to divide this. I'm going to divide both sides by 5. So 5 divided by 5 is, 5 divided by 5 is 1. 130 divided by 5. 130 divided by 5 is almost 25, but it's 26. So, is 25 over 1 the same as 26 over 1? No, sirree, Bob. So that's a big no. All right, let's do one more. Number 4. A human adult takes about 16 breaths in 60 seconds. A puppy takes 8 breaths in 15 seconds. Are these rates equivalent? Explain your reasoning. Okay, so ready, go. All right, so let's do the human first. The human was 16 in 60 seconds. 16 over 60. And this one is, the puppy is 8 breaths in 15 seconds. So this one doesn't really work for unit rate, but we can try to compare them, right? So I know that, so we're going to compare the 16 and the 8 here. What do you have to do to 16 to make it an 8? We're going to divide by 2. Divide by 2, right, equals 8. Which means for these to be equal, I have to be able to divide by 2 here. And is 60 divided by 2 15? No, 60 divided by 4 is 15, which means these are not equal, so this problem, it is not equal. So that's how you do those problems. All right, so now it's time for independent practice, aka your homework. There's only 7 problems that you have to do, and they're really easy, especially because, does this look familiar? 12 books for $3, 20 for 7. That's right, we did these problems both in class and on the Edpuzzle. So a lot of these problems you've actually already done. Hopefully you are paying attention, and now when you do them in your book, it'll be a piece of cake.